Hey guys, I'm Dave Chesson of Kindlepreneur, and today we're going to talk about how to write faster. Now this is a problem that a lot of authors run into. They either hit a lot of writer's block, they get distracted, and they just can't get their words on the page. And let's face it, the faster you can write, the more books you can create, and the more you can grow your author platform as well as your marketing efforts. So in order to help you get there, I have 10 tips that I think will absolutely change the way you're doing your writing and will help you to become more effective and even efficient. But before I get into that, if you'd like to learn more about author writing as well as book marketing, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon to the right so as to get notified when my next video comes out. With that, let's begin. Okay, so let's start with number 10, which is eliminating your distractions. Now, eliminating your distractions doesn't mean tying up your children or, go into a corner and staring at a wall or anything like that. Instead, though, we're talking about digital distractions that stop authors from getting done what they need to do. Some of the major culprits to this is social media, as well as interactions from like email popping up. So the first thing you should do is turn off your social media. Yep, turn it off. Second is close your email or anything else like Slack or Skype, any way that somebody can message you. And for some, this also includes turning off your phone as well. If you're using something like Scrivener, they also have a distraction-free mode, which is great for blocking out anything that your eyes could track to other than your writing. And finally, music is really key. I recommend not listening to music that has words in it. There is some great music out there that actually has been designed to improve your effectiveness and efficiency. You can find that on things like brain.fm. So, whatever it is that you're doing, make sure to remove those distractions so that you can have a clean writing zone. Number 9, set goals. Whether you choose to make yearly, monthly, daily, or even hourly goals, setting goals is a great way to designate time to writing. However, the best goals are daily. Giving yourself a target to hit is the best way to accomplish what it is you need and to know that each day you build upon the next so that you're getting closer to finishing that book or writing more books or making even better books. One way to do this is use word count tools. So say, for example, you have Scrivener. They have a word count tool that will not only let you know how many words you've written that day, but you could also set a daily goal so it will tell you when you've hit your mark. Number 8, make sure to have good posture. Having good posture not only promises better and faster writing, it also has plenty of healthy benefits. It allows your body to not cramp up and feel uncomfortable. The ideal writing position when typing is to have your back aligned with your chair, elbows bent, and feet flat on the floor. So, be sure to check your posture and ensure that you're in a right form so that way you're not cramping up or feeling pain or finding a reason to move on from writing. Number 7, using writing sprints. Sometimes when you hit a roadblock or you feel like you're getting stuck in your writing, setting a writing sprint can really break through it. Writing sprints are where you take a timer for a specific time period and you write as fast as you can without stopping. This can be great if you have a limited amount of time in the day or a specific amount of time a day that you can write. It's also really good if you have writer's block and you just don't think you can move. Force yourself into a writing sprint. If you find yourself struggling to get into the writing zone, stay focused. Try setting a 15-minute timer and work your way up to 45 minutes a day. Your brain is more likely to stay focused for shorter periods of time at first. Number 6, writing without looking at the screen. I know that sounds crazy, right? But this is really key. If you keep finding yourself going back and editing or jumping around in your writing, take your keyboard, turn yourself away from your monitor, or if you have a wireless keyboard, move it over to another section, sit down and start typing. This will force you to not go back and try to edit. It will make sure that you just keep writing forward. I mean, after all, you can't use your mouse to go back and highlight something. It really does force you to write. And with that, it brings me to my number 5, refrain from editing. Research has found that the writing part of your brain is actually different than the editing part. Switching between the two at will can cause inefficiency and slow you down greatly. Therefore, work hard to not edit, even misspelled words or grammatical errors. And if you can't do that, then go back to rule number 6. Pull yourself away from your computer so that you can't edit. Like, literally. Then, once you finish your writing goal of the day, like we discussed in number 9 and number 7, then you can go ahead and switch your brain over to the editing mode and start looking at what you created and start building out from there. Number 4, create an outline. There's nothing worse than sitting down to do your writing goals and not know what to write. When this happens, you'll be more likely to go down rabbit holes and run into writer's block. If you're writing fiction, there are many different outlining tools or methods out there. Using one of these to outline will make sure that your story is driving in the right direction, and also when you go to sit down, you know what you're supposed to cover in this chapter. If you're writing a nonfiction, then knowing the purpose of each chapter, or the resources you're going to point to, the facts you're going to use, and even the anecdotes can really help you to move forward in just getting your writing done. Which brings me to number 3, save your research for later, or do it beforehand, but not when you write. While fact-checking and ensuring that your writing is accurate is always important, you should not be doing that in the middle of writing. Try to do your research beforehand. Or if you reach a point in the story or your nonfiction book where you know something would strengthen it, then instead of stopping your writing process and jumping down a long rabbit hole of researching online, just take some brackets and write in bold exactly what it is you should research later and add to this section. And with that, you can now move on in your writing. Number 2, use text to talk. Now this isn't for everybody. However, though, there are a lot of authors that have really crushed it or found a whole new level of writing because they started using text to talk. In this case, instead of thinking through or catching yourself in editing mode, which we all do, you can use text to talk where you just sit down and you start talking through your book and it translates it right into words. To do this, there are a couple of services or tools that you can use. Google's voice typing tool is available on Google Docs, which is free, but it does have some issues. Drag and Dictate, which is better than Google's voice typing, is pretty awesome, but a little pricey. Or you can do what Kevin J. Anderson does, which is use a physical recorder. You can use it on your iPhone or purchase one, and speak into it yourself and send the file to someone on either Fiverr or Rev.com to transcribe it. And finally, my number 1 tip is to write every day. By doing this every day, you're going to build a habit, and habits are incredibly important for creating your author career. Nobody's a good enough writer to just sit down once and crank out an Ernest Hemingway level book. That comes from years of practice and honing your skill. And the best way to do that is to make it a part of your daily routine. One recommendation I have is that you set a certain time period, no matter what, to do your writing. When I first started, I always made 5:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. my time to write no matter what. I did this because nobody else was up, nobody was going to disturb me, no kids were asking for cereal or anything like that, and that was my own time. Furthermore, there's no activities going on. It's not like if you schedule, say, 5 to 6 and your kids have practice, now you start getting out of the habit. So I highly recommend finding a time period that you can truly commit to every day and do exactly that. And when you do it, your habit will grow, your writing will improve, the amount of words you write will increase, and you will start to get into that perfect writer's flow. All right, guys, so with those 10 recommendations, if you implement any of these, you will see an increase in your writing speed, you will get more done, and you will improve your writing as you go. With that, I hope this helps, and thanks for watching. Cheers.